Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience.
Good
Thank you for your
evening.
patience. Welcome to our first Black History Month program done under the auspices of the Jamaican Consulate in Atlanta. Congressman Hank Johnson, Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Consul General Alcyon Wilson, New York, Consul General Oliver Mayer, Miami, Deputy Consul General Sharon Burrell, Miami, Mr. Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of Victoria Mutual Group, other members of the Diplomatic Corps, Fox 5 TV anchor, Miss Sharon Lawson, Jamaicans and Partners of Georgia, Jamaicans, Pioneers, all the Jamaican Pioneers awardees who are on the line, welcome. All other officials on the Zoom, journalists from National Geographic Magazine, Jamaica Gleaner Reporter, Jamaica Information Service, all are our generous sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Our mission is to hear 2-minute synopsis of the great stories and lessons learned from these brave pioneers of Georgia. Please visit the Jamaican Consulate Atlanta Facebook page and website for additional details and publications. We honor all of you on whose shoulders we stand in Georgia. Special thanks to all of the African American leaders who have contributed so much to the United States. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., the late Congressman John Lewis, Congressman Hank Johnson, Oprah Winfrey, and so many others. We salute you. Our main objective today is to pass our values and heritage to our youth and bridge the gaps to all our African descendants who live in the United States. Hopefully, this will start the process. Please write your questions to Gerard Rakisin and myself in the Zoom chat. We will have a short Q&A session at 8:10. This formal Zoom session will end at approximately 8:10 or 8:12. Thank you so much. We will now present Jamaica Tourist Board video, Jamaican National Anthem done by Gregory Bryan. Then we'll have Lift Every Voice and Sing. And after that, Mr. Zeron Pleasure will introduce Congressman Hank Johnson. Thank you for your patience and enjoy the evening.
Feel the pulse, feel the vibe, feel it in your heart.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart, feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat, dancing to the beat up inside your heart, heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat, Jamaican heartbeat,
Jamaica.
can you feel it? Jamaican heartbeat,
Love it.
heartbeat of the world, beyond compare, nothing like it anywhere. Share, eat and drink, we move and dance with you, no matter where you are,
Yep.
no matter where you're from, join in the party. You're welcome, you're welcome.
So me say greetings, welcome to one and all, to the land of scat, reggae and dancehall. Here we go beach, river and waterfall, and we have a lot of party when the night fall. Hold a vibe, eat something with a drink in your hand, rum beer, jerk chicken, roast fish, yellow yam. Them say we beat unique, so every boy, every girl come to Jamaica, the heartbeat of the world.
Jamaican heartbeat,
Jamaica.
Dr. Bryan, can you hear me?
Thank you so much. Is Mr. Pleasure here?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you.
First, I want to say great job, Mr. Bryan, Mr. Gregory Bryan. I would applaud you for the songs, the music. I was over here dancing to the Jamaican song and the and the Jamaican anthem. Yeah. But good evening to everyone. My name is Sharon Pleasure, and I'm the Director of External Affairs for Congressman Hank Johnson. And I must say this event has been inspiring, and it's very awe-inspiring to be a part of the connection between Dr. Bryan and I have to also add Mr. Gregory Bryan, but Dr. Bryan and Congressman Hank Johnson. Two of them have worked collectively on quite a few things that I want to share with you guys. They work collectively with the Congressional App Challenge that provides a digital innovation platform for students who aspire to create apps and games. And we know that's big at this day and time. Kids are actually getting scholarships to major universities for gaming and apps. They've also worked with Microsoft to create opportunities for youth. They've been presenting scholarships at Dr. Bryan's Inspirational Lunching. And most recently, before COVID hit, they came together for the Passport Immigration Citizenship Agency event that was held over in Buckhead. And so before I bring him forth, I want to share that this gentleman is the U.S. House of Representative for Georgia's 4th Congressional District and was named the most effective Democrat in Congress by the University of Virginia and the University of Vanderbilt, and has most recently been named the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. And I bring to you Congressman Hank Johnson.
Thank you, Saran. And that raise you asked me about last week, I believe I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
All right.
So thank you for such a kind introduction. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to bring greetings this evening. With these greetings, I want to thank Dr. Elaine Bryan, Mr. Gregory Bryan, and the Elaine Bryan Foundation for all of the work they do in our community in Georgia's 4th Congressional District, which encompasses parts of DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Newton counties, and all of Rockdale County, and what they do for our youth, especially for the Caribbean community as a whole. As the Consul General for Jamaica, Dr. Bryan always seems to be very intentional in her approach to bringing opportunity and acknowledgement to the Jamaican diaspora and the entire Caribbean community. So this evening, I want to be intentional when I congratulate you as Jamaican pioneers of Georgia, pioneers who are being celebrated this Black History Month, next month, and every month henceforth for your contributions to our country. The rebellion in Jamaica of Christmas 1831 helped to force the abolition of slavery in Jamaica. And when the Jamaican Parliament passed the Slavery Abolition Act and the institution of slavery was abolished as of August 1st, 1834, Black Jamaicans have proudly advanced and contributed to the advancement of the country of Jamaica and to the country of America. Black Americans and Black Jamaicans share a common history and a common destiny. So again, I proudly greet all of you in the spirit of Black History Month, and I salute all of the Jamaican pioneers who opened the doors for all who will come behind you and in your culture and other cultures as well. Thank you very much and have a great celebration this evening.
Thank you so much, Congressman Hank Johnson. Could all of you give Congressman Hank Johnson a big round of applause, because this is Saturday night and I'm so honored that he took the time to celebrate with us so that we can enjoy the first Pioneer Award celebration done under the auspices of the Consulate of Jamaica in Atlanta. So I want to just thank you so much and for your valuable remarks, and thank you for the partnership we share all these years trying to make a difference in Georgia, and your good work. And I know you're being modest, but thank you for the good assignment they gave you as a subcommittee leader in the judiciary in DC. I salute you for that, and we want to support every initiative that you carry out and that we see you all the time working hard to assist all of us. Thank you so much. We'll now have the poem from Mr. Leighton Holler, who is a board member of the Jamaicans and Partners of Georgia and a proud representative of Jamaica College, that's Gregory School, of Kingston College. And so I want to salute you, Mr. Leighton Holler, as you continue to work hard for your school. After Leighton Holler's poem, we'll have Dr. Carol Ann Denton Kilpatrick, and we'll have Mr. James Bell, and they will give us quick synopsis of their grandparents. Thank you.
Good evening. Poetic Voices by Leighton Holler. Do you hear us, children of the muse crying out in this urban wilderness of a global village? Singular voices, harmonized by technique and delivery. Do you hear us, telling the stories of our lives, our history, our heroes relegated to footnotes, but not forgotten. We won't let them be forgotten. We call to you from the altars of your everyday search for something different, something outside your go with the flow existence. Do you hear us? Do you hear us? That which is incorporeal cannot be worn or used to accentuate an outfit, be driven to work or put in a portfolio. But can men and women be human without it? Do you hear us? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Carol Ann Denton Fitzpatrick. It is my honor to be a part of this forum this evening to make this presentation on behalf of my family for my grandmother. To say that evangelist Elsada Miriam Duncan was a pioneer is very appropriate. One may define a pioneer as someone who does something new to prepare a way for other people. And this is certainly a true illustration of my grandmother's way of life. She was known as Mother Duncan for most of her life, and in her later years, everyone called her Granny or Mama, and everyone who knew her well. And if you didn't know her well, she was happy with you calling her Grandma. Her entire life was filled with a lot of firsts. She was born on January 15, 1908, in the small town of Bernard St. Mary in Jamaica to farmers, and she was actually the seventh of 13 children. But she was the first of her siblings to actually leave her childhood home and move to Kingston. And then in her early 20s, she was actually the first female supervisor of a clothing designer and at a local garment factory. And she always boasted that she used to clothe people like the late Madame Rose Leon. Yes, my granny was special. Her faith and her belief in God were central to her way of life. And it was how she raised her child, my mother, and what she taught her grandchildren as well. Many people used to say that she had a lot of talents, and it was actually an understatement. She had an abundance of talents. She was often called on to lend her soft lilt of her soprano voice as she sang at weddings. And her command of preaching and teaching the gospel was so pure. It was this combination of gifts that took her on her journey to become one of Jamaica's first female ordained evangelists. She became one of such evangelists to be called on to do missionary work around Ohio and Maryland in the early 1950s and 1970s. She never let the fact that she was a Black female from a small town in Jamaica hold her back. Back then, as we all know, America was going through a lot of unrest with African Americans, but she held her own among her peers and seniors, no matter their color. And in those days, because of her race and gender, she was frowned on if she spoke up. And she knew she came from humble beginnings, but always said that to whom much is given, much is expected. So she never backed down from doing what she knew she was called to do. Can't was not a part of her vocabulary, and giving up was not her disposition. As the matriarch in our home, Granny was a propeller behind our mother when she received awards for being first in the island in her local examinations when she was a child. And then when it came to her grandchildren, myself and my sister, she was always there when it was time for exams, big or small. We have all gone on to be professionals who own businesses, manage large-scale international business interests, and even our children are doctors, lawyers, engineers, business owners, all because Granny was our propeller. She always told us that there were no dunces in her family. So we were going to do our best no matter what, and even our best could be better. Granny was the root that helped us navigate our personal, spiritual, and professional lives. When she finally settled in Milton, Georgia, in the mid-1990s, she had moved from Connecticut then. She was about 85 years old, and she used to tell us, "I'm old, but I'm not cold," meaning she was not done. So it was no surprise that when we would take her to shopping malls, we would find that she was sitting in the midst of crowds holding the hands of strangers as she offered a word of prayer. No matter their belief, no one ever refused her humble, gentle heart. And there were times when she had a crowd of people gathered around her with tears rolling down their cheeks as if she was a celebrity. We were all amazed. She spoke love and she walked love. She celebrated her 100th birthday by actually dancing with the mayor of Milton. And then 10 years later, when she was 110, he celebrated her by honoring her at the Milton City Hall, where he honored her by observing January 15, 2018 as the Elsada Miriam Duncan Day. She became known as Milton's grandma and friend of the Milton mayor. And she was featured in many news media across the globe. And before she passed away at age 111, she was verified as the oldest living Jamaican in the United States. But let me not stop there about Granny's firsts. At age 104, Granny was diagnosed with breast cancer. And at that age, no doctor wanted to treat her diagnosis. And so we prayed, we cared for her. And 5 years later, her breast cancer went into remission at age 109. She became the oldest breast cancer survivor at that age. And actually, probably the only person to beat breast cancer at that age. Yes, Evangelist Elsada Miriam Duncan was indeed a pioneer for her family and others by the way she exemplified strength and fortitude during hard times. She never gave up and she never forgot to give back. She never dwelt on regrets, but for young people, she was always concerned about their appearance. That was coming from the heart of someone who spent her younger years in the garment industry. She always believed that putting your best foot forward meant more than saying the right words, but you should also be dressed appropriately. Everyone who has spoken to her has heard her tell them to take it one day at a time. This is also the lyrics of one of her favorite hymns. At the beginning of the 21st century, she used to tell us a lot of things seem to be moving so fast. And she would say, take time and walk fast, which we all knew she meant that you should change with the times, but don't forget to love. Don't forget to be humble. Don't forget to appreciate, and don't forget where you come from. Thank you.
Hello, my name is James Bell, and I have the esteemed pleasure and honor to introduce my grandfather to you, who was Denzel Dixon. I first want to thank Dr. Elaine Bryan for this honor today and all other dignitaries that are in attendance. In 1957, my grandfather, Denzel Dixon, came to Atlanta, Georgia from St. Mary, Jamaica, after meeting his wife, Corvallis Stanford, through a pen pal. They did not see each other till the week of their wedding. They talked on the phone and wrote letters to each other. After communicating for a while, he proposed over the phone. He sent the ring in the mail. She flew to Jamaica on a Tuesday, and they were married the following Saturday, August 18th, 1956. A love that lasted until her death in 1998, for almost 42 years. He was determined to be able to provide for his family, even though it was hard for him when he first got here. He paved a way for himself that would eventually impact his family and those close to him. He started out working 3 jobs to make ends meet, and then eventually landing a successful career with the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, where he was employed for 50 years until his retirement in 2007. While working for the AJC, lifelong friendships were made, including those with other Jamaicans that came to Atlanta to pursue their dreams as well. In 1977, while working with Jamaicans at the AJC, he and my grandmother would have parties at their house. He and a few others started the Atlanta Jamaican Association right in the basement of their home in Atlanta. The AJA focused on assisting every Jamaican in Atlanta to help them find jobs, help them find housing, pointing them in the right direction for them to be successful. And the AJA has grown now to be the largest Caribbean organization in Atlanta. Throughout the years, AJA adopted Montego Bay as a sister city to Atlanta and would have different fundraisers to assist the schools, the hospitals in Jamaica In 1998, my grandfather, Denzel Dixon, was awarded and deemed as a life member of the Atlanta Jamaican Association, which he always held dear to his heart. He always wanted everyone to know that you have to help somebody in life. In life, you have to help people. That was his main objective. That was his main goal, to assist people that were in need, whether they were Jamaicans or not. He was one who always enjoyed helping people. On September 16, 2020, with one daughter and two grandsons by his side, my grandfather, Denzel Dixon, transitioned from this earth, and everyone that he made an impact on were deeply saddened. But it was at that time that God said, "Come on home, job well done." Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those were two wonderful tributes. We salute them both. We'll now have Jamaica National Pledge, and then we'll hear from Basil Smith and Lilith Jones, two other pioneers. Then we'll have the Grace Kennedy ad. Thank you.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learn about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people. A nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices. A nation of many people working as one. A nation that will continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the National Pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind, I pledge love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.
Right, good evening, fellow Jamaicans, fellow Jamaicans, and fellow Americans.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero.
Am I on now? Am I on?
Yes, go ahead, Basil.
Okay, well, I was saying, good evening, fellow Jamaicans, fellow Jamaicans, and fellow Americans. It's a great privilege and honor to be asked to speak at a gathering such as this as a pioneer. No, it's not something that is due to any particular gift or ability of mine. It's simply a matter of timing as to when we decided to come to the United States. Now, we came in 1979, almost 42 years ago. And we actually didn't come to stay. You know, we had made a pledge that would come and allow my wife, who Joan, of 45, 46 years on, to finish up her college education. Since she got married while she was in college, I couldn't wait and she couldn't wait. And so we decided to come to Atlanta and we're still here. You know, 5 years came and went. We added two other beautiful daughters to the first beautiful daughter who was born in Jamaica and came with us. And it actually just seemed like yesterday. I mean, that we came. I mean, time has passed so quickly. I can remember when we just came and the juggling that we had to do to adjust to this new lifestyle. We didn't know much. We didn't know many people here. One other family. And I know my wife was particularly instrumental in moving things along. You know, she took on a lot of responsibility. I went to work. She had to stay with our children, which she did for many years until she went to school at night on top of that. But we had a system going where we shared responsibility. I particularly remember when we couldn't buy a car. We had the money to buy it, but nobody would lend us the money because we didn't have a credit. And she had to go to school in the evenings, and I was working the days. And she used to take her daughter, Natalie, the first daughter, by bus, meet me at the train station. Come, you know, at the bottom of I'd take Natalie from her at the bottom of the escalator, and I would go up to take the train and take a bus back home. You know, so that went on for about 2 or 3 months before they finally relented and we eventually bought a car. But we've been blessed here in the United States. You know, we have our life has been marked by several dimensions. I mean, in terms of our Christian faith, it's been marked by, you know, our professions. My wife is a systems analyst. She's an IT. I'm an engineer. And we both have successful careers. But above all, we have been blessed by 3 beautiful children. You know, 3 beautiful girls. You know, if you have 3 girls, you're a lucky man. You know what I mean? And I consider myself thrice lucky, right? You know, they are our epistles to the world. You know, they are our epistles to the world. We've invested a lot of time with them. They have worked diligently in all of their undertakings, beginning from real early when my wife spent a lot of time with them. Disciplining them, but teaching them discipline, you know, and the habits of working hard, and that has paid off. You know, they're very very hardworking, diligent young ladies. Now all married, and they have really excelled in their educational life, and now they're into their professional life. But we praise God for the opportunity of you know, bringing them up, and we praise God for the Jamaican community here and the Americans too, with whom we have formed friendship over the years. You know, it has been a great journey for us. You know, it's been a great journey for us, and we look back with fondness. You know, we look back with fond memories about our life here in the United States, and we would like to think that we have made a difference in setting an example in our children, and also in the activities that we have been engaged in. You know, my wife has done a lot of work in the church, teaching kids, you know, in drama and singing, and giving them a sense of confidence. You know, not just exposing them to educational issues, but giving them a sense of confidence. And so we are glad that this opportunity was given to us. And so we wish, you know, that everybody has a very great, a very nice, you know, Black History Month. And as I was thinking about it, I think we should also start a Black Future Month. You know, I think history is good, but we must also, I think, look at the future. And I think as we go ahead, as we, you know, go forward, maybe that's something that we think about, because history is supposed to prepare us for the future. And so we just again, thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. Clap.
Yeah.
Lilith Jones.
Press unmute, Aunt Lilith. Look for the mute and press it.
Done.
There you go.
Okay, listen. Well,
we can hear you.
Well, am I unmuted now?
Yes.
We can see and hear you well. No, you muted yourself now. Touch the button again.
You're on mute already, Lynn?
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
No, we hear you.
Okay.
Don't
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Lilith Jones. I'm a certified medical technologist trained at the University Hospital of the West Indies. I came to Georgia in 1979 with my husband, John F. Jones, a former Jamaica government civil servant and a corporate marketing manager. This was a time of civil unrest and political uncertainty in Jamaica. And we wanted to seek stability and to ensure a good education for our children. So we left Jamaica, we left the known and ventured into the unknown. In the same year that we came to Atlanta, I started working at the Georgia Baptist Medical Center in Atlanta and had a successful career there for several years until my retirement in 1995. My retirement years were the most enjoyable and productive years in Atlanta. I went back to school, I became a teacher and a successful entrepreneur. I traveled extensively with my husband and became involved in community service, community activities, and I was also involved with my church, the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. Unfortunately, I lost my beloved husband of 53 years in August of 2014. If asked, or I've been asked, what are my triumphs since I've been here for all these years? And I would like to say, without doubt, my 3 children, of whom I'm very proud. 2 of those children have exceeded my expectations. Robert, a graduate of MIT and Harvard Business School, and Jacqueline, a graduate of Wellesley College and Harvard School of Business, have reimagined education and success in the context of justice, diversity, and relevance. I see this as giving back to society, and this makes me very proud. To future immigrants from my country, I would say, in order to succeed in America, have confidence in yourself, pursue your purpose, work hard, be proud of your culture, but do not isolate yourself. Integrate and learn. Work hard and have faith. God bless America. Thank you for listening to me.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. We'll now have the Grace Kennedy ad, and then we'll hear from Miss Margaret Marshall, Reverend Dr. Noel Erskine, followed by Miss Tilly Holt. Thank you.
Our family and friends are a big part of who we are. They are our biggest supporters and confidants, and our source of bellyfuls of laughter.
And when it comes to keeping you connected, Western Union is here to make it safer and easier with their digital services. Now your family and friends overseas can send you money without leaving home by using the Western Union app or westernunion.com. Just visit gkmsonline.com to register and share your banking details with your sender to start receiving funds directly to your bank account, so you don't have to leave home to collect. Grace Kennedy Money Services, home of Bill Express, FX Trader, and Western Union, doing our part to help you stay safe and connected to the
Miss Marshall, we're ready for you.
I think.
Yes, we can see, we can hear you.
Is that for Miss Marshall? Is that for me?
Marshall, yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Margaret Marshall. First, I'd like to thank Dr. Bryan for having me on the program. I'm perhaps the oldest one that will be speaking to you this evening, because next month I will be 86. I came to the States in the late 50s. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. My first place I landed, of course, was in New York. Was there for 10 years, left there and went to Miami. And then I discovered Georgia on a trip, on a business trip. And I really fell in love with Atlanta. So this is where I became a pioneer, because on a visit to Madrid, Spain in 2007, I discovered the internet. I stayed in a bed and breakfast with I would say, a mid-class family in Madrid, and was awed by how they were on the internet all the time and getting information. I was so thrilled. I was with them and not in a hotel as a tourist. Well, they happened to ask me where I was from, and I told them Jamaica. So the host that I was staying with decided to Google Jamaica. And the first thing that came up, it was during festival time, was young ladies dancing and singing and carrying on with merriments. And I wondered if there was any other programs that told about Jamaican's history or some information other than how happy we was at festival time. Well, once I came back to the States, I decided to do some research and found there was a lot of interesting Jamaican stories during the days of slavery, before slavery, and after that I was not familiar with. And I decided to launch a radio program called Backyard Labrish in 2008. Now, I think in Jamaica, I remember growing up, my family used to go to the neighbor's house across the fence, and they would have a chat. And that is why I came up with the Backyard Labrish. And with the help of my American friend, Miss Donna Robinson, who I made an honorary Jamaican. She's sitting here right beside me. And a young man from London who was of Nigerian parents, I was able to get on the internet, find some wonderful stories, and broadcast them on Blog Talk Radio as Backyard Labrish, and invited people all over America to call in and share their story. And I was surprised when Dr. Bryan called me up and told me, I didn't even realize that I was the first female Jamaican to start a radio show online. And of course, that was before Zoom, which might have been a good thing because we were not dressed for the occasion. we could be broadcasting in our, from our homes on Blog Talk Radio. Well, to make a long story short, I started in 2008, and I think the year Jamaica celebrated their 50th anniversary, I decided that my goal was to try and have 50,000 downloads. That is people listening to the shows. And I made my goal, and I terminated the broadcast. There are all the wonderful stories of Jamaican history, and it goes back to stories of in the 18 something to stories that were in the 2000 something. wonderful stories of accomplishments by Jamaicans in Jamaica. And all of the stories are still available on Blog Talk Radio. If you go there and type in Backyard Lavish, you can select any of them. I was able to interview a lot of celebrities, or quite a few Jamaican celebrities, Mrs. Manley, and I can remember another professor. And I use a lot of documented stories that people might not have heard about. So I hope that you will check it out on Blog Talk Radio. So Dr. Bryan considered me a trailblazer, but that was not my intention at the time. I didn't even know that I would be the first woman from Jamaica starting an online show. So I thank her very much and really congratulating her from being a trailblazer herself, because I wouldn't be here this evening telling you all about this if it was not for Dr. Bryan. So I hope you have a chance to listen and send me a little note and tell me if you enjoy any of my shows. Good night, and thank you. God bless you. Here's Donna, and here's Donna saying hello. She's an honorary Jamaican. Thank you all.
Thank you. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And let me say that Mrs. Marshall is a national treasure of Jamaica. We're so proud of you, and thank you very much. Allow me to say a few words about my neighbor, the Honorable Hank Johnson. I live a few doors down from him, and I keep an eye on his comings and goings. And I'm happy to tell you that he doesn't jet away and leave us when we are in trouble like we have witnessed in Texas. He's always with us and suffers with us, which is indeed a true meaning of the word compassion. He's a compassionate leader. So thank you, Dr. Bryan, for putting this together for us. And when the pandemic abates, it's going to be wonderful to come together with Lilith Jones and so many others, Sister Margaret and so many others, to really celebrate this occasion. Now, my darling wife, who's sitting beside me, she and I came to Atlanta in 1977 with 3 children. I came at the invitation of Emory University to serve as professor of theology and ethics at the university. I am still there and still teaching theology and ethics. Looks like I'll be there forever. When we came in 1977, there were not many Jamaicans in Atlanta at that time, and so it was easy for us to get to know each other. And we met in each other's homes. I remember we met in the home of Angie Largy of blessed memory. And we also met, as you heard earlier, most of our meetings were in the home of Denzel Dixon, who served as the first treasurer of the Atlanta Jamaican Association. And the Atlanta Jamaican Association was literally formed in his home. At that time, we also had Father Don Taylor, also of blessed memory, the rector of the Holy Cross Episcopal Church. And Dr. Denzel Holness was also here, the Reverend Winston Lawson, and the musician extraordinaire, Dr. Barry Davies. So many of our functions he celebrated with his music. Our first honorary consul was Mrs. Sylvia Ashley, who served with distinction, followed by the Honorable Vin Martin, who initiated the Atlanta Montego Bay Sister City Association in the early 1980s which continues to this day under the leadership of Dr. Yvonne Smith and Mrs. Marjorie Wilson. The Honorable Vin Martin was succeeded by the Honorable Jewel Scott, and Mrs. Scott was succeeded by our esteemed and current Honorary Consul, Dr. Elaine Bryan. My wife and I are founding members of the Atlanta Jamaican Association, the earliest organization formed by Jamaicans in Atlanta. As was mentioned, the organization continues to this day. And I remember serving as president from 1986 to 1989. And that included that turbulent year, 1988, when we had Hurricane Gilbert and all those songs we had about Gilbert. And I'm proud to say the Jamaican community raised thousands and thousands of dollars that we took to Jamaica to assist. Jamaicans in Atlanta continue to be passionate about meeting the needs of our youth through scholarships and mentorships under the able leadership of Dr. Elaine Bryan. Jamaicans in Atlanta were leaders in desegregating schools, churches, the workplace, housing. I remember in the 80s, Jamaicans would come to Atlanta and we would beg them, please don't go to Stone Mountain. Those days, Stone Mountain was the hub of the KKK, you know, the Ku Klux Klan, those of you who don't know what that means. And, you know, and the Jamaicans would say, watch me. and we desegregated the schools. We sent our children to schools. We desegregated Stone Mountain Park. Those days you couldn't, if you're a Black person, walk at Stone Mountain Park. So Jamaicans have really provided leadership, and we refused to buy into the racist construct of society as we created pathways of excellence and human flourishing. In the language of Bob Marley, we would affirm one heart, one love, one song. Let's get together and be all right. Enough love. Thank you.
Miss Tilly, are you ready? Is Mrs. Holt on? Miss Tilly? You want us to proceed, Elaine?
Did you see her?
I cannot see the whole list here. No, I'm not seeing her online.
I think we should move on to Victoria Mutual Ad. Thanks. And then, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have Victoria Mutual Ad, and then that will be followed by Miss Celia Smith and Mr. Errol Ritchie, and that should end the Pioneers. So we can get the greetings from Fox 5 Anchor and hear from the world-renowned pianist, and then we'll move on to Mr. Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of Victoria Mutual Group. Thank you. I'll introduce him formally before he starts. Thanks.
I got a mortgage customized to fit me. Same-day pre-approval on my loan? Wow!
Lower mortgage payments, so I have money to do more of the things that matter.
Happiness is owning my own crib. Take advantage of our same-day mortgage pre-approval plus customized financing of up to 100% and enjoy low monthly payments. Happiness is home. Own it with BMBS.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Smith, and I am one of the originals. I came to the United States in 1978. No, 68, I'm sorry, into New York City. In 1976, the summer, I moved to Atlanta. Here I found a few Jamaicans gathering together to play dominoes. And I thought, what an opportunity. Let us organize. So I set about writing letters, inviting people to meetings, and we met in each other's homes. And the first founding meeting was held sometime in 1977. At that meeting, you know, they nominate and elect officers. So the first officer up was secretary. And Mr. Errol Smith, I don't want to say he was sexist, but he says, oh, I want to nominate Cecilia to be secretary because she write all those nice letters and everything. And I go, I respectfully decline. They said, what, why? I said, because I want to be president. But they had no choice because I was the organizing force behind this. So they had to nominate me as president. And somebody mentioned that Denzel was the first treasurer. Was the first treasurer. Then followed him was Cecil Davis and Ferguson and some others. I heard Dr. Erskine earlier talk about it. And I was a sitting member also of the Atlanta Sister Cities Council. So as such, I made a connection to Montego Bay as our sister city. And we had people come up from Montego Bay that very year and gave us a fashion show that raised a lot of money for the association. That's how we got started. But the following year, they booted me out for a man because those were the days. The following year, 2 years later, I left the city of Atlanta, I left the country of the United States and moved to Nigeria. I stayed there a year, didn't work out too well for me. So I came back here to the United States, joined an itinerant programming company because I was a computer programmer. And they took me all over this country. I went to Alaska, I lived in Detroit, I lived in Miami, I lived in North Carolina, Tennessee, all over this country. So I was very privileged to have that job for those years where I traveled around and got to meet a lot of people and try a lot of things, which led me on a spiritual quest, which led me to become an ordained minister and to write spiritual books. My latest book is called A Differing Light, which talks about the journey of the soul from birth to transcendence, and our journey through the 2012 transition period for the human race. I consider myself a humanitarian, and I teach human spirituality and lead meditation groups. I'm affiliated with the Unity Movement in America, and the church I go to is Unity North Miami, which is up in Cobb County. It's a privilege and an honor to be with you, and I really, really thank Dr. Bryan for inviting me to speak and to let you know that, yes, we were here, we are here, and we will be here. Viva Jamaica. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. And thanks to Dr. Bryan and her team for providing this platform. My name is Errol Ritchie, and it's an honor to address you this evening. I attended Monroe College in Jamaica and the University of Western Ontario in Canada. In Jamaica, I worked for the Jamaica Public Service Company and Alcan. I migrated to the USA in 1980, prior to the infamous election in Jamaica. and attended Columbia University's Graduate School of Business in New York, graduating in 1981 with an MBA degree. After graduation, I worked for the Relocation Reality Corp and then Pitney Bowes Corporation in Connecticut as a senior systems analyst. After a brief visit to Atlanta, my family and I moved here in 1988 and settled in Stone Mountain, Georgia. I was impressed with Atlanta's relaxed lifestyle, vegetation, and seeming progressive Black population. I joined IBM's education division as a financial consultant with responsibility for its Atlanta department's financial reporting and project tracking system. In 1991, a partner and I founded Select International Products, an importer and distributor of Caribbean food products. Despite the very small population of Jamaicans in Atlanta and strong opposition from the few Jamaican stores here, we persuaded Kroger and other major supermarkets to add our products in a section of their stores identified as the Caribbean section. With aggressive marketing and the help of innovative relationship building, the company enjoyed rapid growth, but was forced to cease operations in 1996 after being enjoined in a lawsuit filed against one of its suppliers. In 1996, I founded Tropic Products International Inc. The company grew to become a major distributor of Caribbean food products and water, serving retail and food service accounts in Georgia and adjoining states. In recent years, TPI has been forced to downsize due to the loss of the water line and its major customer, as well as the realignment of the major Jamaican brands. I served as president of the Atlanta Jamaican Association from 2010 to 2013. I led AJA's efforts to provide assistance to Jamaicans and promote the Jamaican culture in Atlanta. My team projected AJA as a caring and inclusive organization that recognizes those who make significant contributions to the Jamaican community. And we reach out to other Caribbean organizations and local politicians to solicit collaboration and support. In 2012, I received NAJASO's President's Distinguished Service Award in recognition of my work with AJA. I thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ritchie, Miss Cecilia Smith, and all the wonderful pioneers. I want you all to give them a real loud applause as much as you can on the Zoom platform. But later on, we'll turn off the mute button and please salute to them, okay? Thank you so much. I think they did beautifully. This was just an idea we had, and you know, it went very well. And I want to thank you all pioneers for coming on and you did an excellent job explaining your life and try to condense it, because we're trying to not stay too long on the Zoom. Okay, we will now have Miss Sharon Lawson. Miss Sharon Lawson is an award-winning journalist who joined Fox 5 as an anchor of Good Day Atlanta in September 2017. In April 2019, Sharon was tapped to co-anchor the new 10 a.m. hour of Good Day, in addition to her appearances throughout the rest of the morning. Before coming to Fox 5, Sharon worked for 14 years as an anchor reporter at NBC 6 in Miami. Born to Jamaican parents in Toronto, Canada, Sharon and her family moved to Florida in the mid-1980s. Lawson's path to broadcast journalism started at age 5, when her mother and her biggest supporter spied on her practicing with a hairbrush and a mirror. This is Sharon Lawson with the 6 o'clock news. That little girl's dream has grown into a career of professional merit and community service. Any mother would be proud. A scholarship has been created in her honor, and she regularly mentors young women in their professional and spiritual walk. Ms. Sharon Lawson spends her free time with her husband, Chris Pappas, enjoying the outdoors, running, biking, and traveling the world, meeting people and collecting new stories to tell. We value Ms. Lawson so much, and we will post her complete bio so we can all celebrate her accomplishment. We'll have Ms. Lawson now. Thank you.
Dr. Bryan, thank you so much for that wonderful intro. And oh my goodness, it just warmed my heart. And this entire event, your entire team, what a great job you did for this entire program. Consul Dr. Elaine Bryan, Congressman Hank Johnson, our dignitaries, pioneers, and distinguished guests across the diaspora. It is such a privilege to join you and everyone else and for this greeting during Black History Month. And our incredible theme for 2021, Our Stories, Jamaican Pioneers in Georgia. Now, our lives have changed, but what has not changed is the resolve of the human spirit and our perseverance to empower, encourage, and educate our brothers and sisters, even if we have to do it virtually during this pandemic. I'm not going to talk for long, but I just want to say, as the daughter of Jamaican parents, my mother was from St. Mary, my dad from Westmoreland. It is such an honor to know that I'm standing on the shoulders of those Jamaican pioneers who paved the way for me and countless others. Not only during Black History Month, but throughout the year, we should salute the accomplishments and the legacy of those trailblazers. These pioneers whose stories are woven in the fabric of our stories, like the story of that little Black girl, 5 years old, saying, "This is Sharon Lawson with the 6 o'clock news." And now to know that that has landed me in the top 10 market with anchoring the most watched morning show in Atlanta. Look at God, look at God. Let's remember that our story is valuable. And if we have the ability, then we have the responsibility to pay it forward and share it with others. It is once again my privilege to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you all and enjoy the rest of the program.
We got so many great guests tonight. I'm so excited about all this, but we're going to do one at a time here. The next guest we have was born in Jamaica. And when you hear him talk, you'll know he's not from Mississippi. He was born in Jamaica, lives in Chicago. I've done a few events with this man over the years. One of the finest piano players you will ever hear in your entire life. Please give a big TV and welcome to Huntley Brown.
Hi, good evening. Thanks to Huntley Brown and the previous contributors. We will now go into another section where we hear from the two speakers. The first speaker will be Mr. Courtney Campbell. Mr. Campbell is the President and Chief Executive Officer at Victoria Mutual Group. He is an accomplished and dynamic banking executive with over 2 decades of strategic leadership experience and a strong track record in business growth and improving general business performance. Mr. Courtney Campbell assumed the role of President and Chief Executive Officer of the Victoria Mutual Building Society on April 18, 2016. Over the course of his career, Mr. Campbell has held several senior executive positions, including Chief Executive Officer of First Global Bank and Chief Executive Officer of Grace Kennedy Financial Group, Kennedy's Financial Services holding company with operations in banking, stockbroking, insurance, and money services across 12 Caribbean territories. Prior to joining the Grace Kennedy Financial Group, he spent over 23 years with the National Commercial Bank, where he served in several management positions, including head of retail banking division. He holds a BSc in Management Studies from the University of the West Indies and an MBA in Financial, jointly awarded by the University of the West of Wales and Manchester Business School. He is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, London. Mr. Campbell is the former chairman of the National Education Trust, chairman of the United Church Mission Enterprise, as well as a Justice of the Peace. He previously served as the director of Grace Kennedy Limited and was on a number of its subsidiaries boards. Mr. Campbell is married to Mrs. Campbell, Mrs. Pauline Campbell, and they have 2 sons. Welcome and thank you.
Great. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Bryan. And it is want to greet Congressman Hank Johnson, don't know if he's still on, but certainly Dr. Elaine Bryan, Honorary Consul of Jamaica in Atlanta. First of all, heartiest congratulations on this fantastic event celebrating Jamaican pioneers in Georgia, and overall for your wonderful work as Honorary Consul. I want to also greet Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, our Permanent Secretary. The special honorees, what wonderful stories. You know, I could stay here all evening, listen to these stories. And in fact, I'm hoping that we have documented them because, you know, others who are not on this call or participate in this meeting need to hear those powerful, inspiring stories. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'd also wish to recognize and salute my colleagues who are participating in this function, my colleagues from Victoria Mutual. So first of all, the Chief Representative Officer of our Florida office based in Miramar, a top professional, Mrs. Suzette Rochester Lloyd. Mr. Beresford Nelson is Business Development Associate in that office as well. And also with us are, I call her my local boss, my local Chief of Staff, Miss Natasha Reed is participating, and Mr. Leighton Smith, who is a Chief Representative Officer in the UK. And Leighton has responsibility for all our overseas offices. So that's Florida, New York, as well as the 3 offices in the UK. And, you know, you can just think about Leighton's commitment because you know what time it is in the UK right now, and he's with us. So thank you, Leighton. It is my great pleasure to be with you this evening in honor of an august group of Jamaican pioneers who, despite great odds, have distinguished themselves in their respective fields, and in so doing, have brought great honor and pride to Jamaica. It is fitting that this series run by the Jamaican Consulate in Atlanta is entitled Our Stories, as it nicely captures, in my view, the expansive nature of our collective stories as Jamaicans. Across oceans and seas and multiple generations, this Jamaican story, whose recurring themes include resilience, integrity, determination, and grit, continues to be written excellently by people like tonight's honorees and many others with us this evening, who decided that physical boundaries present no limit potential, and that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. There is a particular brand of courage that guided tonight's honorees, who migrated to Georgia from the 1950s through to the 1970s or even the 1980s, as they navigated overt racism, discrimination, and countless other challenges to make a better life for themselves and their loved ones. It is a great credit to the Jamaican community in Atlanta today that even while assimilating, you have maintained your Jamaican cultural identity and have remained committed to doing all you can to build and support your homeland in many ways, including through the transfer of knowledge and skills, philanthropy, facilitating business connections, and through foreign direct investment and the promotion of trade. Victoria Mutual celebrates tonight's honorees and all Jamaicans living in the state of Georgia and beyond, whose pioneering spirit mimics that which defined our founders, a group of clergymen who in 1878 established this organization to give every Jamaican an equal chance to achieve financial well-being. This pioneering spirit that was birthed in 1878 is still part of our organization's DNA, as evidenced by the fact that we were in the 1980s the first Jamaican financial institution to establish overseas representative offices to serve the people of the diaspora. Today, Victoria Mutual is a strong, integrated financial group with services and products that meet the financial needs of the modern member throughout all stages of their lives. Our overseas offices are located in the United Kingdom, in New York and Florida. And these offices are able to give that personal Jamaican touch and assistance to members of the diaspora wishing to acquire financial services in Jamaica. Indeed, we are pleased that we have helped hundreds of Jamaicans in the United States to realize their dreams of property ownership in their homeland. This, as many of you understand quite well, is a treasured and life-enhancing accomplishment. And we have, of course, gone beyond the United States. We have done the same for those living in Canada and in the UK and other parts of the diaspora. So I encourage everyone with us this evening who has that dream to reach out to our team, and let's help you to transform that dream into a reality. Our Florida office, led by Suzette Rochester Lloyd, they stand ready and eager to hear from you. And in the UK, I should mention that Leighton and his team are breaking new ground. They are using their mortgage brokerage license to facilitate many Jamaicans in the UK to secure mortgages from the high street banks there for the acquisition of properties in that market. So not only are Jamaicans in the UK being assisted in purchasing properties in Jamaica, but we're also helping them to buy properties in the United Kingdom. And one day we hope to do the same in the US. At home, we are supporting Mr. Basil Smith's call because I heard him earlier this evening. He called on us not just to celebrate Black history, but also to focus on Black future. And through the recently established BM Foundation, we are investing in developing confident young Jamaicans. Over 60 annual scholarship awards are made to high school and university students. The St. James Under-13 football competition we have sponsored for over 30 years. And we have recently introduced, in partnership with the British Council, the Social Enterprises in Secondary Schools program, which teaches young people ages 12 to 14 years of age in 14 high schools how to run businesses, and also teaches them critical life skills for thriving in this new world. And in response to COVID-19, we have donated over 120 laptops and tablets to help our young people continue their education via remote learning. We think that is investing in Black future. So we of Victoria Mutual, we're here for you, as we have been for many generations. Our ongoing digital transformation has been increasing convenience for our members, no matter where they are in the world. And our commitment to excellent service continues to direct all that we do. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Victoria Mutual Group in Jamaica and across the world, I salute all of tonight's outstanding honorees. Your stories are indeed inspiring and remarkable. I also salute everyone among us who, like our honorees, have boldly been crafting inspirational legacies of your own, following that familiar Jamaican script and its overarching theme of excellence. May God continue to bless and keep you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Campbell. That was very inspirational. And everybody online, you can hold on, because after we will be asking some questions of Victoria Mutual. For example, I would like to be a member of Victoria Mutual, so we need for him to hold on so I can know how can I join Victoria Mutual while I'm here in the States. So these are the questions we want to hear in a few minutes. So we will go ahead now and hear a quick ad from Jamaica Tourist Board, and followed by my introduction of Her Excellency Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith, and she will be the keynote. Thank you.
Feel the pulse, feel the vibe, feel it in your heart.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart, feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat, dancing to the beat up inside your heart, heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat, Jamaican heartbeat,
Jamaica.
Can you feel it? Jamaican heartbeat,
love it.
Heartbeat of the world, beyond compare, nothing like it anywhere. Share, eat and drink, we move and dance with you, no matter where you are, no matter where you're from. Join in the party. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So me say greetings, welcome to one and all, to the land of scat, reggae and dancehall. There we go beach, river and waterfall, and we have a lot of party when the night fall. Hold a vibe, eat something with a drink in your hand, rum beer, jerk chicken, roast fish, yellow yam. Them say we beat unique, so every boy, every girl come to Jamaica, the heartbeat of the world.
Jamaican heartbeat,
Jamaica.
Can you feel it? Jamaican heartbeat, heartbeat of the world.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith, CD, is a career civil servant currently assigned as Permanent Secretary, Head of the Jamaican Foreign service since February 2021. She served until recently as ambassador to Belgium. Prior to that, she was also appointed as ambassador to Mexico and High Commissioner to Belize. She also served as High Commissioner to Canada. Her 34 years of service in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade have been in theory and practice of diplomacy at bilateral, regional, and multilateral levels with advanced training and extensive experience in the formulation, implementation, and management of foreign policy. She has particular interest in development issues and in understanding international organizations and their role in development, and has active involvement in human resource management policy, making and implementation. In recognition of her service, she was awarded the Order of Distinction Commander Class by the government of Jamaica. She was also awarded the Order of Aztec Eagle by the government of Mexico. A graduate of the University of the West Indies, Ambassador Seeley Monteith holds a Bachelor of Arts, an advanced postgraduate diploma in international relations, and Masters of Science in international relations. She holds a professional certificate in human resource management from Carleton University, Ottawa, Canada, and is a graduate of the Public Sector Senior Leadership Program. Ambassador Seeley Monteith is married with 2 children. We welcome you to our Zoom first Black American History Month program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bryan. Dr. Elaine Grant Bryan, Honorary Consul for Jamaica in Atlanta. Congressman Hank Johnson, U.S. House Representative for Georgia District. Mr. Oliver Mayer, Consul General of Jamaica at Miami. Mrs. Alcyon Roach Wilson, Consul General of Jamaica, New York. Mr. Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of Victoria Mutual Group. Our distinguished Jamaican pioneers in Georgia, of whom we are so proud tonight. Ms. Sharon Lawson, Fox 5 TV anchor, members of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, other specially invited guests, Jamaicans, and friends of Jamaica. I know you'll agree with me that this has been a special and delightful evening. I could listen to the stories of the pioneers all night, but of course I have a pleasurable task to carry out. I bring you warm Jamaican greetings from Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister, Senator the Honorable Leslie Campbell, Minister of State, as well as the staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. We sincerely trust that you and your families have been and continue to keep safe and well during these challenging times. This is my first formal attendance at a diaspora engagement since I assumed duties at the start of this month as Permanent Secretary in the Foreign Ministry. I thank Dr. Grant Bryan for her kind invitation and also for her dedicated service to this community on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica. It is a pleasure for me to join you all on this very special event being held in commemoration of Black History Month 2021. I congratulate Dr. Bryan on this initiative and thank her for the kind invitation to participate this evening. And from the reactions from the chats, I know that all of you have been similarly enjoying this evening's offerings. Black History Month, commemorated in the United States annually during February and replicated in spirit elsewhere across the globe, provides an excellent opportunity to highlight important historical events, celebrate the rich cultural heritage of the African and Caribbean diaspora, and their contribution to the history and development of the United States of America. It is therefore fitting to specifically acknowledge the achievements of our Jamaican trailblazers who laid the foundation for the empowerment of our people in the United States and by extension at home. In particular, we use today's event to highlight the resilience and tenacity of the Jamaican pioneers in Georgia who have overcome myriad challenges and achieved great successes in education, health, business, ICT, engineering, and religion, among many fields. And you heard the testimonies this evening. The theme for this year's Black History Month, Black Family, Representation, Identity, and Diversity, resonate with the recent appointment of Ms. Kamala Harris, the first female Vice President of the USA and first woman of Caribbean or Asian descent to hold that office. As we recall, Vice President Harris's parents were both immigrants. Her mother migrated to the USA from India, while her father migrated from Jamaica. We were also blessed to have a number of elected Jamaican officials in key political posts in the USA, including 2 from the state of Georgia, Judge Joel Scott and Gwinnett County Councilwoman, Miss Donna McLeod. Jamaica's first national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, quite aptly stated, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." It was Garvey who also declared that the Black skin is not a badge of shame, but rather a glorious symbol of national greatness. With that in mind, I will briefly share with you my thoughts on the remarkable journey of our people, which has helped to shape political thought, economic outcomes, and social realities at national and global level. The story of the Jamaican people speaks of a courageous and adventurous set of human beings with boundless talents across a vast array of disciplines, facing enormous odds, but who found ingenious ways to achieve amazing outcomes. You will note the number of adjectives that I've used, but it is difficult to speak of the attributes of the Jamaican persona without using striking adjectives and indeed superlatives, because we are such a delightfully colorful and creative people. In fact, what I just described might well put us in the rank of a Nancy, but with the best intentions. Indeed, ours is a very compelling story, which endears people of all color and creed to our culture and general way of life. Our story has evolved as a vibrant and inspiring one, driven by courage and manifesting real transformation. Indeed, we have grown through hurricanes, floods, tragedies, and pandemics. The current COVID-19 situation is not far from our minds, and human brutality and atrocities, to become a beacon of light and hope, standing tall among equals and giving life to the refrain, "We little, but we talawa." Our story has evolved through time and space as we have been compelled by political, economic, and social events to migrate voluntarily and involuntarily. Our sojourns took us to Central, South, and North America to begin with, and later to Europe, Asia, and Africa. As a truly migrant people, we have managed to influence and effect change wherever we go, some of which has been truly monumental with global reach and historic significance. Now let me turn to the part of our story which unfolded on account of our people who settled in Georgia. The history of the Jamaican community in Atlanta, Georgia spans over 4 decades. The community numbers approximately 55,000 nationals, as I am told, residing in metropolitan Atlanta, in Fulton County and surrounding counties, including DeKalb, Henry, Clayton, and Cobb. Through a range of community-based organizations, alumni associations, and charitable and professional bodies, or diasporans have actively supported local overseas communities, as well as contributed to Jamaica's national development in education, health, social services, and commerce. In terms of the student population, Jamaican nationals have excelled in large numbers at most major colleges and universities across the state of Georgia. I want to use this opportunity to commend the Atlanta Jamaican Association and other organizations and individuals that have over the years supported education through the award of well-needed and appreciated scholarships for studies, both in the United States and here in Jamaica. These acts of goodwill have greatly assisted in the educational advancement of the recipients, their families, and communities. It is also noteworthy that Jamaican professionals in Georgia are also well represented in the healthcare sector at major hospitals and clinics as doctors, nurses, administrators, and paraprofessionals. Jamaicans are also visibly present in the legal profession, the education system, and in corporate leadership. The list indeed is endless. In terms of business, the Jamaican Atlanta Chamber of Commerce, JAMCHAM, has been doing remarkably well in highlighting brand Jamaica in the USA. The group is comprised of Jamaican business persons, primarily involved in healthcare, ICT, restaurant ownership, and food distribution, as well as professional bodies. Atlanta is fast becoming a mecca for the entertainment industry, and we are pleased to note that second-generation Jamaicans are a growing segment of those engaged in this area. It will be recalled that Prime Minister Holness visited Atlanta in April 2019, where he delivered the keynote address at the inaugural JAMCHAM Awards. The Prime Minister also held productive meetings with the leadership and business community and discussed, among other things, investment and education. Indeed, all these positive developments have been due in no small measure to our trailblazing Jamaicans who settled in Georgia and who have laid the foundation for others to follow. I congratulate and thank all the pioneers we celebrate this evening for their visionary leadership, foresight, and support, their humility so evident in these testimonies they gave, especially towards those who have been disenfranchised and have required guidance, care, and mentorship. The government of Jamaica values deeply the role that you have played in your communities, institutions of learning, businesses, and churches, and your contribution to your families and to enriching the fabric of the socioeconomic development of the United States, while simultaneously impacting positively Jamaica's own development. As hardworking and proud Jamaicans in Georgia, you have succeeded in showcasing our country to the world by elevating Jamaica's flag, profile, and image. We salute you and thank you for your contributions to both countries and for assisting in shaping the future we want. You have set a standard for others to continue in the trajectory of excellence and service to community and to humanity. I thank you, each and every one of you. Before closing, I'd just like to take this opportunity to briefly mention the upcoming virtual 9th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, which is scheduled to be held from 16th to 18th of June this year under the theme Jamaica and the Diaspora, Stronger Together for a Sustainable Future. We will not be daunted by COVID. We will be having the scheduled conference, but with a difference. And we look forward to you joining us in your numbers. We will be sharing the details shortly and look forward to your participation in what we expect to be a vibrant and enriching conference. As I close, may God continue to richly bless you and bless Jamaica, land we love, and the United States of America. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. We are so delighted that you could come and deliver such an outstanding presentation as the keynote this evening. Thank you very much. Right now, in the interest of time, I'm going to do our closing remarks, but just before that, I have some gift baskets, gift boxes, and certificates for the awardees. But because we can't, you know, the time is going, I will show you what these gift baskets look like. Can everybody see it? Each pioneer will get a beautiful Grace gift basket full of goodies, and all the things you like are in these baskets. This is another gift basket that we will give you with all goodies, all the best goodies. We will give this to you at the consulate office. Each of you will be presented a certificate of appreciation for your outstanding work in Georgia. For example, this one says, Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Errol Ritchie. The certificate presented to Mr. Errol Ritchie, the inaugural Black History Month program, Jamaican Consulate, Atlanta. Congratulations for being our 2021 Jamaican Pioneer in Georgia, February 20, 2021. Everybody will get this, okay? It's all in a lovely case. And because of COVID, this is the best we can do to present it to you virtually this way. And everybody has both the baskets, boxes of goodies, gifts, and the certificates from the consulate in compliments of the consulate. And we want to thank all the sponsors at this time. Without the sponsors, much of this could not have been done. So I will briefly name the sponsors. And that will be Victoria Mutual Building Society. We also have MD Consulting, Dr. Margaret Dennis, Jamaicans and Partners of Georgia, Grace Kennedy Money Services. We have Elaine Brand Realty, Grace Kennedy Foods, JN Bank, Jamaica Tourist Board, Lane Law Group, which are a group of immigration attorneys in Georgia with over 20, 30 years experience, Westside Gastro. We want to thank you all for your generosity. And we will now close the Zoom with a quick closing remark. Again, thanks to our sponsors, because without the sponsors, you know, these ideas would probably just be a thought, but I could actually make it happen with partnerships and support from our sponsors. Thanks to our pioneers, I identified some common lessons this evening: integrity, genuine relationships, dedication, and hard work. Hopefully these experiences will create tools to build a bridge between all our groups. Special thanks to our keynote speaker, Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith. We want to thank Congressman Hank Johnson for taking time out with his team to join the Zoom on a Saturday evening to celebrate our culture. I want to also thank the former Permanent Secretary, Ambassador Sharon Gilbert Roberts, for the hard work she has done over the many years and for the mentorship she gave me in the way she could with her busy schedule. I just want to salute her at this time because I don't take good treatment for granted. I appreciate everything. Also, Mr. Courtney Campbell from
Victoria Mutual.
Victoria Mutual. I'm trying to sound a blank. Thank you so much, Mr. Courtney, for your great presentation. And I have been seeing Mr. Campbell over the years in action in the various corporations, and I truly, truly admire him. I want to thank also Fox 5 anchor, Miss Sharon Lawson, for coming on tonight. And special thank you, I have to stand up for this one, to Gregory Scott Vernon Bryan, who is my husband, who I always come up with these ideas, and all of a sudden Gregory becomes the person who has to implement them. So I want to thank, and Gregory, I don't have any ideas coming up, I promise. I just want to thank you for all you have done. Because of COVID, you know, the team is smaller, so Gregory has to be running around and doing everything, along with Jared Rackison, and all the members of the Partners of Georgia, Dr. Pottinger, Mr. Rich Phillips. We have so much help here. I just want to salute everybody. I want to also give a shout out and salute to Miss Casmel Williams, who is now the chairperson for the AJA. I want to thank the diaspora people too, like Dr. Karen Dunkley, and also Council General Alcyon Wilson for their online activities. When I was trying to do this, I could see them sharing and liking, and those things really help. I want to salute you for that. I want to also salute Council General Oliver Mayer, who is the head of all of the South and has been working hard and doing it. It's hard for us now because of COVID, and we have doubled the work in the office with the citizenship requests and various requests, and I want to salute him for his work and the team. Also, Deputy Consul Sharon Burrell, who I'm always calling, oh, could you help with this, could you help with that? I just want to thank everyone for their kindness to me. I don't take anything for granted. And you will hear from Council General Mayer and Deputy Consul Sharon Burrell after this, because we had limited time, but now in the question and answer section, you are willing to ask questions of the different candidates. Stay tuned for other inspirational activities throughout 2021. Follow Jamaican Consulate Atlanta Facebook page and Instagram for regular updates. June 12th is our virtual health forum. We'll be having immigration forums and those things by Bernadine Lane and other people from the Jamaicans and Partners of Georgia group. August 1st is our virtual Jamaican Independence Service, and usually Reverend Dr. Noel Erskine helps us with that and is a big help with that event every year. And we also will have some other events at the Hawks, with the Hawks team at the State Farm Arena in November. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody, and also Reverend Dr. Huntley Brown, who is our Jamaican pianist, who has been coming every year when it wasn't COVID to perform for us in Georgia. So thank you, everyone. And those of you who would like to wait just to talk.
Congressman Johnson.
Yeah, I said Congressman Hank Johnson. Okay. Congressman Hank Johnson, yes, I mentioned him. Thank you so much, Congressman Hank Johnson, for coming on and being supportive to us for the last 3-4 decades in Georgia. As long as you have been a congressman, you have always been there to help the Caribbean community. And today I just want to thank you for that. And thanks to all the participants who have been waiting online and have stayed online for the entire event. So could you all clap yourselves, please? And then we will now have question and answers. We won't keep you long because we know you have been on for a while. So we would like the Mr. Campbell and his team from Victoria Mutual, if you would like to say something else, or if you have any questions for them, now is a good time. Is Council General Mayer on?
I'm not seeing him.
Okay.
No.
Is Council General Wilson, Alcyon Wilson on? Okay. All right. So we'll now hear from any questions for the Mr. Courtney Campbell and his team. Anybody has any questions? Is Miss Suzette Rochester on? Is Miss Suzette on?
I see Alcyon Wilson was on.
Oh, is she still there? Okay, we'll hear from Ms. Suzette Rochester if you have anything to say about the different opportunities for the Jamaicans, the 160 odd Jamaicans online, to see if they, would like to get any extra information about Victoria Mutual. And we also have Facebook audience as well. Thank you. You can unmute yourselves.
Just unmute yourself, folks.
Unmute yourself. It looked like they can't. Mr. Campbell said he couldn't unmute himself.
Oh, hang on 1 second. I don't.
1 minute.
If I can unmute.
Yeah, it's showing like he's let me see if I can. Are you unmuted now, Mr. Campbell?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here now. Good.
Perfect.
I've been trying to unmute, but I think it says a host.
Okay. All right.
Prevented that. So if we could do the same for Suzette.
Yes.
And we saw some hands going up, so I don't know if those persons had questions for us.
Yes, maybe they do. So
Tash Moy in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yes.
I've allowed everybody to unmute.
Okay. Good night, everyone. I just have a quick question for Miss Celia. She mentioned the name of her book. Could she just put it in the chat and where it can be, where it may be found? As Miss Celia mentioned her book. Can she please put it in the chat and state where it may be found? Thank you. Over. And have a pleasant night, everyone.
Thank you.
Honorary Counsel Bryan, this is C.J. Wilson. I am here, but I was muted and I was struggling to unmute myself. The host would have to unmute me. So sorry about that. I've been here since 6:30. I haven't gone anywhere.
Good. Would you like to send greetings? I wanted to give you an opportunity to say greetings because of the big support you have been giving the diaspora.
Well, first of all, I have to say what a fantastic event. Thank you so kindly for inviting us. Job well done. And to Mr. Gregory, thank you so much for the fantastic job. I would like to also inform just really quickly, Dr. Bryan, thank you so much for all your support that you have given us throughout the year. I would also like to inform everyone of the upcoming Investing in Jamaica Forum. It's a partnership between the consulate in New York and the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Mr. Courtney Campbell, he's on, he can speak a little bit of what we will be doing. And any questions that anyone have as it relates to investing especially in Jamaica, please log on. If you jump onto my Facebook page, log on to my Facebook page, register for the event, and then we have a whole host of presenters from the US and Jamaica, from the New York Stock Exchange, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, from various brokerage firms in Jamaica. So you will have a whole host of information as it relates to, can you invest in Jamaica? Can you invest in the Jamaica stock market? Thank you so much, Dr. Bryan. This was a fantastic event. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it.
So Elaine, this is Joan Smith. I wanted to also say to you, thank you so much that your part you have played in Monique and Michaela's life from Chambly High School. And you have truly been a stalwart on their behalf. So we just really appreciate you so much. And Basil and I have always been very thankful for all of your assistance.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. It was easy because they had the parents. The parents like you. I mean, they didn't miss a beat. That's why you got Harvard and Oxford and all that behind your name, because you did the work. It's all about the work. So I salute you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So
Excellent job, Dr.
We will
Bryan.
meet at the consulate, so you know when we can give out the thing.
Wonderful job, man.
The unbeatable flow, the unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable sun. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question of pause, to be willing to march into hell for heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest, like this one call, and I'm late to my last.